Have you guys ever had like rum cake? Like this, it's like Caribbean rum cake. Oh my God, this shit is incredible. It's sort of like tres leches for any of you who know what that is. It's like tres leches, but instead of it being drenched in a milk, it's drenched in rum, and it just keeps it moist, right? You know, it's a very moist kind of like sweet cake, like muffiny cake, something like you know describe that. It's not like a cake. It's more like a kind of like a morning muffin or something. Yeah, RJ has, and but it's kept moist by the fact that it's got like rum in it, and you got to keep it, all sealed up because obviously alcohol evaporates, and so, but by doing so, man, it just stays moist and can stay good for a long time compared to like a tres leche. So it's this moist cake that stays good for a long time, preserves for quite a while, and it stays really moist. I guess another equivalent is like those Italian cakes. I don't, those kind of like, you ever seen those vertical containers? Kind of like a vertical, what do you call those? Like a buttermilk cake thing or something. These are all like the same class. Anyway, they are good. I've got, oh, here, I mean, I can literally even show you. I've got a little bit right here. Really good. So good with like your morning coffee. I'll tell you, a little expensive, but the thing is, I'm just reminding you, go get some because this shit is great, and I think makes a great gift too. Maybe you could get it for, there's all kinds of different kinds. You can get uh, like a hazelnut flavored one, or one with like, you know, some chocolate one or whatever it is, and different islands as well, and parts of the Caribbean, and some can be more just generally themed, and others, like the ones I buy now are called Bahamas rum cake. Make a great gift. You could send it to somebody. Did nothing but appreciation there. That's a great idea for gift giving. Tip right there is sweets. But something like that, like a rum cake or those Italian cakes, uh, make a great gift because they can eat it whenever they want. And you can also, these rum cakes, pretty sure they could be totally mailed. Pretty sure you can order them and get on a lifetime supply, put it on the Amazon reorder thing for you. And they won't make you fat. No, that's a lie. But of course, you don't overeat it. It's like a nice and like a little. It's really nice as like a little treat every now and then. It's like a cookie. If you can cut yourself a little bit like a cookie and have that every now and then, the best. Add that to your wish list, pineapple. So yeah, Tupperware is up a lot this morning. What on earth? Seven? What? What? Tupperware is sporting us. What? What have we done? Tupperware is sporting a 17% ADR. What? This is why I didn't get in on Catalyst Day way back here, and then we had EP, and then it pulled back, and then break over EP entry 160, and now it's at 230, and then it goes and breaks previous high, and then now it's filled the gap. I mean, Jesus H. Christ. It was at 60 cents 5 days ago, and now it's 230. What is that? 232 divided by 0.6. 287%. What? Actually, I didn't need to calculate that. 250% in 5 days. Tupperware. I could only think that this is just a sorely beaten down value stock at this point that's got so let me take a look at it on my value reader. No, no. It's its metrics are bad, and yet it's acting like a growth stock. Well, you shouldn't ignore it. Something's crazy going on in Tupperware, and we want the pullback. So whenever it has a pullback, because this is not it. It's not done. You know? It's fucking Tupperware. If it's going up for a good reason. Somebody knows something on that. Crazy. 250% in 5 days? That's 50% return per day. Right? Don't miss the opportunity on Tupperware. Sounds crazy, but holy cow. Like, this is currently a monster stock. Like, this would be like what you would say at the beginning on Crocs. You'd be like, the hell? You know? And such a huge return off some, poorly valued bottom and during times when it's unprofitable. And then it goes on to make a historic motherfucking run. Just to punctuate that, look at Crocs when it made its run. Back here from $6 to, it won't let me get up there. Come on. Roughly, anyway, it won't let me get up there, but we'll use this number. 1,650% run in 1 year. I mean, we might be looking at the same thing on Tupperware easily. I mean, if it just goes 10x, which is 1,000%, Tupperware would be at like $25. And if you look at the weekly chart, at the peak of the peak of the the market before we went bear, it was $39. And what's changed? They sell the same shit. The demand is going to be about the same, right? So obviously, this is potentially something going on there, buy of the century kind of thing. Wow. Getting all kinds of green flags going on this puppy. Wow. Tupperware. Never thought I'd be talking about fucking Tupperware as a hot stock. As one of the hottest looking stocks. Tupperware. Anyway, we want to pull back on that, so let's keep an eye on that. And everybody, if today just starts running with Tupperware and somebody taking a look at it, please remind me, please let me know. Maybe we'll have to plant a seed in there, and then you don't want to get it away from you. You don't want to let it run away from you. We don't want to hit the FOMO too hard, but yeah, that's how it works. Get it early enough in the move. All right. Anybody got anything you want me to look at? Otherwise, I'm continuing to go down the list here. TTM, SMFL. Obviously, our Nicola position doing well. Talk had a very nice entry candle yesterday. Talk space. Yeah, it's on our list. Very nice entry candle that it put in coming out of a pullback, reclaim over both moving averages. You could have entered at 133 yesterday. This morning hit 171. It's at 160. It's up 12% since yesterday's close, but from 133 entry, you'd be already up 28.5% on this one. So this one's been on our list, but there's a lot of stuff on our list. We missed it. But this is something to keep on watch for sure. Talk. Meta. Oh, obviously Meta's up huge. The market's opening right now. Wow, how did 10 minutes fly that fast? All right, here we go. Yep, and there's my hedge, negating exactly my gains. I'm perfectly hedged. I am now up $4 instead of 400. Gee, thanks. All right, let's take a look at, we got that first minute entries on potentially Meta. You can trade FBL on that. What's going on with ENVX? What are we doing on that? Catalyst entry as well. We got 10 seconds to find out. Oh, fuck you. Typed it in wrong. ENVX. Okay, 2250 will be the entry if it breaks it. 2250 on ENVX. Wait, this is the potentially a catalyst entry. Really, probably is going to just fade. Oh, very nice bleed out on ENVX. All right, let's let that just play out. Keep me posted, guys, on ENVX. Yeah, we are in Rivian. Oh, yeah. It's up more. We are now up almost 7% on Rivian. Yes, sir. That reminds me, I need to go through my list here a little bit. Oh, Iridium did, in fact, get back into a better spot there. Very nice. Oh, yes. All right, what does the market want to do? It's gapping up and looking like it wants to pull back today. And Meta pulling back. Okay, good. The market is actually moving up now. Where's that coming from? It's not Meta. Is it Apple? Oh, but with the recent rebalancing, it is Apple. Apple is flying. What's going on in Apple? This could be a pullback entry. Let's take a look. Apple's been relatively a little bit weaker than some of the leaders lately. So for those of you who like Apple, you would trade, I think it's APPU, not APPU, AABU, APU. That'd be an entry on APU, APPU. That's Apple. You make more money on that one. I'd go for like a quarter risk on such a position on that one, though. And again, it's been a laggard, so careful. AAPU, I'll get a little bit. Stop would be 29.40 on this particular thing, 20 cents. Okay. What? That seems like a pretty large order. Am I risk wrong? I think so. So that. Back to what do we got? Here, Rivian. Let's take a look at Rivian, by the way. And we got into Rivian's gapped up and is pulling back. We got into Rivian on the 24th. I got in at 74 and a quarter on the 24th. Rivian. I'm looking at the wrong one. 25.95. 24th. 25.90 up here. So let's see. I wanted to grab an entry signal. What did I say? 25.95. Good. Love those bubbles. All right, we got a lot of things going in different directions this morning. Mostly Overstock is having a huge moment, which we're in a runner. This could be a pullback add-on. Let's go take a look. No, this is it's earnings. Overstock did well on earnings, and we've already got our runner on that, so we're looking pretty on that. ENVX, did it come back up to that spot yet? 2250? No, not quite yet. The market running. I guess I'm going to liquidate my my protection. And so that's $450 of gains I wasn't able to participate in. Now, probably bringing my yearly gains I wasn't able to participate in Cume to $3,500 just because of using the market to hedge. Don't use bullish assets. Don't use bullish assets to hedge. Big lesson to learn here. Write that down somewhere. Wow. SAP, a short I'm in with a huge pop-up. I'm going to just liquidate that. It came back to my entry, which was basically on this catalyst day. That's fine. It gave me some protection while I needed it. But important to close that out at break even. All right, so we're in the APU. Tilray up a little bit more this morning. Google as well. What are we doing with this BMI thing here? Yeah, that's interesting. Set in 2 days. Kind of living up to its 2.5% ADR, though. I think I'm just going to go ahead and take that money back. I have a rather large position in that. I'll just keep it right here for right now. It's basically high tight flagging. Made a 16% move, and off of the highs, it's pulled back as much as 2.83%, which is, let me do the math on that. 2.83 divided by 5, did I say? Which is about a 17% pullback. That's a high tight flag right there. Anything inside of, I mean, you could loosely say 35% pullback, but the tighter the better. And this is 17% retrace off of 100%, out of the 100% of its move. Let me show you what that I'm talking about here. Understand what a high tight flag is. A Rivian, actually, that looked like a high tight flag. So anyway, there it is. That's a high tight flag. This is, Iwo Jima. And, this is the American flag up here. Anyway. And so Rivian is definitely a high tight flag. Look at that. No, we're just waiting for that to break out. Let me double check something. A lot of the high growth stock traders are dubbing anytime it moves more than 100% off the bottom to the top on that first leg and then high tight flags, the holy grail setup. It's just, I don't know, new thing I haven't heard before. Seems to be everybody's adopting that terminology. The holy grail setup. That's whenever you've got a first leg that's moved over 100%, although I find it effective at even 60 and 80% move. but then it also high tight flags. So, it has a shallow pullback base at the very top there, and it's just holding, real high up there. Holy Grail setup for the rebreak. Well, Rivian is proving it wrong right now. I mean, it did break out, but maybe later in the day it'll pick up some steam, or perhaps tomorrow it'll capitulate and gap up open. But nonetheless, we got in at a decent point. We got in right in the middle of the base-ish, middle top-ish, but better than the breakout. Nice. It was a nice signal. This one would have been on the best, 24. Best, about the best you could have got it. That's Rivian. Oh, I'm getting some thunder and lightning outside pretty heavy, and sometimes that can affect the electricity. So if the electricity goes out here, have to call the stream. It's not that bad of a storm, but it could happen. All right, and so this morning, what's up in our hot list? We've got QuantumScape, must be earnings related. Oh, that's a huge. We missed it off the open at like 10, whatever it was. In the first minute, that would have been an entry. It's flown and gone at this point. It's too far. QuantumScape. Which list did that not show up on? Still refining my scanners here. But that would have been off the first minute, 9:30, boom. Entry at 10:40. It's now at 11:70, and this would have been a swing trade at that. FNGR having a bit of a pullback here. Let me take a look at this. Okay, that's just ordinary movement. Proving that we should have taken our 50% off table, though, at the top of yesterday. Upstart putting in another day of progress. OSTK now up 20% on the day. We're now up 24% on our position. OSTK. Find any other opportunities here this morning? Tupperware. There's the big, huge Tupperware move. Tupperware about to break pre-market highs. What's going on there? So that's an entry for day traders on TUP. And it's very extended. Difficult to hold this from here. We're going to be watching it for a pullback for swing trading. But we've definitely got some super strength coming from Tupperware. ENVX at the top of the list. ENVX breaking out now of the pullback base. Okay, talk, pulling back. Semiconductor index. Yeah, I'd like to get a better pullback entry on that. Sun W, we're already in it. It's having a nice continuation day today. Sun W. PGY has been hot, hot, hot. See some more tightening before this takes off so we can get some kind of an entry on a potential moving average reclaim. We had that, but it was like not the greatest close. We had that at 220. Unity. It's still getting this at this spot on Unity. I take it kind of small. Check the stochastics market. So the market says today's day forecasts a bigger day tomorrow, a more continuation tomorrow. At this moment, by the end of the day, that could change. Unity itself, the same. So this could be an entry on Unity, but I'd take it at the lower end of risk because the market is up a lot and Unity is up a lot out of the base. So it's coming with risk. I put it at the min risk. In it. So a stop would be lower of the day. 45, roughly 45. That 46.60, so $1.60 of risk. We're in Unity. I like that. I like that. We've got some exposure to Unity. And B2 low volume, very low volume. AFRM doing like a cheat break inside of a long base with reclaim. This is pretty healthy. We're already in AFRM, but this could be an add-on point. Stop at 1660. But what's my average? Yeah, so I can get some more on that. You don't want to increase to more than 1660 being your cost average. Adding to AFRM. Average now 1511, so I can add more. And you get to about 1650. Okay, I'm at 16. I can add more. You know what? I'm going to stay right there because I like that 16 cost average. It's sort of this bottom of this upper base. Let me illustrate that for you guys. Add on. There. We had original entry. On the 10th at 1420. Odin right here. Couldn't have got a better entry at 1420. What a great entry. We were really on the ball on that one. Right here is where we got in. And we've just added here, which now brings our cost average to 16, depending on how many shares you bought. But at this moment now, that's our cost average line. Enter cost average. So that puts us in the game more heavily on AFRM. And that, my friends, is how you do add-ons. It would have been nicer if we could have got a little signal, a little entry at a lower price. But you just size your ads so that your cost average moves to the right spot. So you make it small if it already got a little bit away from you. But don't dilute your cost average too much. But this does put us in a position to if it breaks and runs, that we could take some profits at a higher, price. So what I was talking about as far as that base, let me illustrate that for you. is obviously we've got this larger base going on, right? So number one, this whole huge base going on up here. We had initial move and a flagging, and then a base on base. Pretty typical. With higher highs. And then it moved again. Short little capitulation. And continued. And that's basically where we are right now, right? I mean, as far as the shape of everything with the big base. Now, inside of this pullback, inside of this base, we got some good stuff happening. We have a defined low point after 2 weeks of trading. And then we have an undercut reclaim. That's really a great sign. Claiming this low. And that's where we got in. We actually got in before that. And then we have an inner pivot shelf break to confirm it. That could have been another entry right there. Another, like if you missed the first entry. And that created a base on base inside of the base here. You know, base on base inside of the base, which is roughly like this. And now this is an entry / add-on moment up near the top of the base. But I mean, where do you want to be in at? Wouldn't you rather be in down here? You know, but that doesn't mean you just ignore it. But, you know, if you do this right, you know, next time around, you know, you're getting in at the bottom of the base and you're adding on potentially throughout the base. And then where most people are like breakout swing traders are grabbing this is up here. For the first time, they're grabbing it up here. Like tomorrow, if it happens to break, or today, if it's green enough, they're going to grab it for the first time there. Here we are. We've got it way down at the bottom at a much better price, around 14. And they're getting it at, you know, for the first time at 20. And they're happy because it goes to then to $28, you know, in 3 days. Great. But here we are. We'll be up 100% on our original entry at that point. You know, and meanwhile, they're up 20% or whatever that is, $8 on $20, 40%. All right, cool. So that's a little explanation of what that is. And each of these is a kind of an entry. This one, this day, too low volume. So certain traders would not have taken it on that day, even though that was correct. But this one should attract more traders because this is projecting to have high end of day volume. And a lot of these growth traders have that metric, so they know what percentage RVOL it's doing today. And they have that projection. So they're going to be getting in. It's certainly, you know, on their radar this morning as what's called a pocket pivot. So a pocket pivot is when it's an inner kind of cheat break inside of a base like this, and volume itself has blasted above all the previous red days, red volume days here. And they really only go back 5 or 10 days, but this one is projected to blast over all of them. So this is turning out to be an entry day for many traders on AFRM. But we're already in it, so we're looking good. Hopefully that was instructive. AFRM analysis for you. Okay. B-Big has turned around. Let's take a look. Give me a heart attack to reclaiming. It is zooming right now. B-Big. From putting me in heart attack mode? No, we've taken a lot of profits on it, so the whole trade has been subsidized. But look at that. I didn't sell yesterday because it didn't break the 5 moving average down here. See this pink line? 5 moving average. And what did it do today? It ends up showing us that it bounced off the 5 moving average. fact, this is an add-on moment right now. But you need to have your cost average at 380 if you're going to add on. What is my cost average? 326, so I can add some. Adding on BBIG. And that puts my cost average on BBIG to 350. And what did I say I needed it to be? 380 at best. Yeah, I'm liking the 350. I'm going to keep it right there. It ended up working out to be only a 20% add-on the way we've purchased this. So let's put that here though. Add-on. Original entry was on 21st at 326. End of day entry. It doesn't put those on the chart over here. Global drawing. New drawings will sync globally. Maybe it takes a few minutes. All right. All right, continuing down the list here. MBA for Fingu, that's FANG stocks up. The market is pulling back off of, what time is it now? We are at 10. So that's probably the high for a while. It's a significant level, regardless, however you can think of it. The upper level and the lower level that has been created on any stock and on the markets between now and 10 a.m. have now become important levels on the day. And let's take a look at the sectors here, just get an idea. Financials are pulling back. Growth is up. SPY, which includes a lot of value in industrials, is flat line on the day. Growth doing very well. Tech doing good. Industrials down. Base materials sideways. Consumer staples sideways in trend. Healthcare up a little bit. Utilities down. Consumer discretionary sideways since the open. Communications up a smidge. That's probably coming from Meta. Meta is a huge component of communications. Gold dropping. Gold is dropping, so the ATM machine is being extracted from. Energy down. So this is a very rotational day, but into growth. So that's a good sign. Now, it's not a full-on rising of the tides, so it's going to be a day filled with lots of lots of chop is the best way to put it. Not just a general rising of the tide from here so far. That's what we're seeing from here. You know, the tide rose from here, from yesterday to here, but now we're chopping, we're rotating, we're not rising more, right? And so that's definitely healthy. It's actually a good, healthy sign. How you could analyze that and where does it go from here? Let's just not even speculate. Let's wait till the end of the day and we get that nice closed candle. We'll figure out what we really have today. Anything can happen, but I mean, the large catalyst is behind us. The Fed decision is in the rear view mirror now. So we potentially have, a month to just, follow other economic data and ER to figure out where we should go from here as a market. All right, I'm going to take a quick look at Iridium, my short. I want it to not be doing too well. And so maybe if it could turn red on the day, that'd be great. That'd be down here. If it can get below 51.44, that'd be nice. Looking at other holdings right now, I'm just going to check the health of my portfolio. Yes, FNGR is, it's pulled back softly. Check the volume on that. Actually is projected to have a little bit strong volume today. But it's fighting a good fight. It's finding some support. AUR has given back about 20% of its gains today from our entry. AUR. Good. I'm going to go ahead and exit that position completely. It's back to break even, as a matter of fact. Exiting AUR. Might be in that. No, out of AUR. We got a good entry, best we could have got. It's pulled back. It could actually, stay within your stop on this and would still be a good entry. But, I just want to retime it myself personally because it looks like the volume is projected to be heavy, not heavy, not terrible, but above average. And there it goes even more. Yeah, I'm glad to be out. ADVM we got in yesterday. It's not following through. I'm probably going to cut. It's just sitting there. RJ and I were talking about this exact thing yesterday. It's like a doji at the very tip top of yesterday's candle. That's fine. ADVM lands another one down. Really? No, it's doing all right. It's just, that's healthy movement. Forge. Forge just making healthy progress. It's making higher lows and higher highs. Even though today's a red day, and now it's below yesterday's close, it still went above yesterday's high and is above yesterday's low and has made a higher high and a higher low. So that's just part of normal oscillation. Alto is negligible or up. Let's see, negligible. It's actually Alto's up a smidge. Alto doing good. Looks like it's tightening. And, maybe we'll get another move soon here. A break out of a base on this could be worth 36% in like a week or two if it moves. Alto. All right, the rest of everything else is healthy, looking all right. And let's see if we have any other opportunities to look at today. This is an entry on QSI. This is the kind of thing that we're like, man, why didn't we get in? This is the moment. And in fact, yesterday could have been a moment, but this is not too far away. Yesterday, you could have got in at 307. Today, it's at 324 now, 325. Stop at the bottom of the base, 295. 30 cents of risk. It's at a decent spot, but the market, is sitting where it's sitting. It's a bit of risk there. So I'd go with 0.4R on QSI. This is just so you know what we're dealing with. This is something that has moved from the bottom 180% in 20 bars. Oh, that Holy Grail setup thing we were talking about earlier. That move, the whole leg, needs to be in less than a month. So it's moved more than 100% in less than a month, and then it high tight flagged. And this is one of them. I mean, this flag pulled back here. It's about 23% off of 100% move. That's good. Okay, I'm going in to buy now, but I might need to free up some funds. Let's see. No, totally good. Doubtful, that the stochastic's going to end so strong today. See, on the market, and we will see. There's some thunder. I have 3 shorts that I maybe could cut. Let me take a look at them. Sage. That's looking good. Look, it's at the bottom of this huge bar there. Be keeping that. MMSI. Same. The other one is, no, actually there's only 2. 1, 2, no, there's 3. MMSI, Sage, and Iridium. But Iridium's been improving. Iridium started off on the chopping block, and now it's red on the day. Nice doji. See how it progresses from here. B-Big now at 33% gains since our position. Although I think, didn't I add on to that? Yeah, I added. So it's actually more than that. B-Big doing well. There's a high tight flag for you. Well, it's not holy grail, but it's a high tight flag. 21% move off the low, and this is intraday. It's 5% pullback. This is super healthy, super bullish, super strong intraday pattern. High tight flag. You keep saying super. Unity is almost at our stop. Unity's not following through. I'm just going to go ahead and retime that, exiting. And that's why I low risked it. I think we got to get out of 8 ADVM. Cats are running up the stairs like crazy. No, not really. My position is just a large one, so maybe I'll de-risk some because I just don't want that much exposure. Needed to follow 3 if it was going to work out. So de-risking on ADVM position. Anybody got any opportunities you want me to look at? Let's look at reclaim signals. QNRX. Not super consistent, but the ADR in this is 16%, and it tends to make big moves when it moves. QNRX. I guess it recently split, getting a little bit more attention because of it. It's got all the metrics, and this could be an entry on QNRX. Stop low of the day, which is 750. I mean, with this high of ADR, it's worth a shot. These kinds of metrics. Okay, market's coming under pressure now and is turning red on the day. That would be a gap up island top reversal. If it starts to press into that a little bit more, S&P 500 should already have that pattern. Dow should look like that as well. Almost everything, if it's gone red today, is an island top reversal. So that's going to be a hard to climb out of spot. That's pretty funny. I was wondering where some of these gains were coming from in my portfolio, and I found, this is so typical, I found a position hidden in a folder that was supposed to be closed. It got hidden in there, one of my shorts, and it had continued to work its position. Nice surprise. Bits. Real. This is Holy Grail setup on real. 7%, almost 12% ADR. And this is an entry today, but I'd put your stop down at 235. Entry on real. If any of you are new to trading, don't do it. Start with paper. Start on paper. Don't put your money into things you don't know what the fuck you're doing. Maybe you hear me say, Holy Grail said, oh shit, high tech, strong stock, monster stock. It's looking excellent. Still about 50% chance you're going to lose money. It doesn't. There's no sure things in this. There's only good bets and bad bets. All right, 35, 45 cents of risk. Is this going to be on that? I take the smallest amount of risk on this because of where it's at. If I was you. Let's look at more reversal signals. AUID. Didn't we either sell that or we have that? Still in it. Okay. AUID with a beautiful reclaim bounce off of the 20 moving average. Perfection. Very nice. Apple, the timing doesn't look right. Hanging out around our entry. The market slowly fading. I'm going to take back my money off of the Apple, which is AAPU, which is the 50% more return or loss ETF version of Apple. So I'm out of that. Be Big and OSTK our our best performing holdings today. Be Big and OSTK, we're now up at 20. Well, we're actually more than that, but we're now up 27% on both of those, even with add-ons, even with dilution. Nicola also something that's doing well. ADR is 16%. Nicola's yesterday's entry seems to be holding. Move. Now, I'd target 270 for your first profit taking on that whenever it comes. Yesterday at 225. Okay. Get the thing to show up. Maybe if I refresh this page. Show up on a reload. Well, what's the point then? Global are they? New drawings will sync in layout. New drawings will sync globally. Click it. Sync in layout. Sync globally. There we go. Okay. Okay, so let's go back to Be Big. Right click this word entry and say sync globally. Here. And boom, there it is. Okay. At least I figured that much out. How to rectify the problem. I don't know why there's naturally not sync global. Eh, whatever. It's on. It's supposed to respect that. Maybe from now on it'll do it correctly. Sync globally. Maybe if I copy and paste a global one, let's see. It's sync globally. Okay, good. So that's the issue. Back to Nicola. Yeah, Nicola looking good. Frog. Dog. Let's go back to these reclaim signals because these could be potential entries. Let's see. Mike's. See, that's an entry on Mike's. But do we want it? I say no. Because when it moves, it's not very consistent and it's with a lot of chuck, 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 chuck back and forth, right? And then when it has a big day, it doesn't last. It's a big day and then it puts you through hell and then you got to exit at the stop out. And you sort of have to, it doesn't, you can draw the lines, obviously. Let me show you. You can draw the lines, you can get a false perception about that the stock looks good. But remember that every stock has its own behavior. Can anybody tell me why? There's a million reasons, but why does a stock have its own behavior? What are some of the factors? that make each stock unique, and that they trade differently and they behave the way they behave and have a reliable, consistent behavior that's different than another stock that has a different, reliable, consistent behavior. Does anybody have any ideas what are some of the factors that can go into why a stock does that? Type and let me see. But anyway, what's deceiving here is it looks like you've got this great move. Let's take a look at the measurements. So go ahead and type that, guys, while I'm explaining. You have an initial differential of 40% in 6 bars, seems good. A total differential of 85% in 11 bars, seems good. And then as far as the zigzag goes, of higher highs, higher lows, potentially goes way, way, way up, right? But the problem is, if you could just run the trade through your mind, the first thing to recognize here is that the granularity, sort of the resolution that supports your lines, the resolution of the underlying stock movement that supports the fidelity of your lines is too low. It's too granular. You understand? So now you really have to examine it then to see what you can rely on. And one of the worst things about it, you dissect it, is you have signal day, which is like this one. And you probably would have gotten in here. You shouldn't even gotten in this stock, but I'm just saying from signal day on an analysis point, it then went up and down and up and down. Way down below your entry. It's putting you through hell. A couple of days. Comes back, comes down, goes way down, goes way up. I'm sure you would have gotten out on this day, and if you didn't, you would have gotten out on this day all pissed off. It didn't break the low of your risk size for the entry on that, but you probably would have gotten out. And the whole thing's so crazy. And then, this is barely a signal. Then all of a sudden, boom, it's got a signal. This is the signal, right? This is a signal entry bar, not a progress bar necessarily. You're all out of the trade. Signal bar wouldn't have worked out. Probably didn't signal on open. May have, but you would not be in it. It's gone back ever since. And now it's offering an opportunity. Fuck you. Right? Do you see what I'm saying? Screw you. Forget it. Mike's is not on our hot list, even though it's got 14% ADR and did a 68% move in 10 days. It's still not on our hot list because it's just not very nice looking. And the thing might do great things and might have a great return when you look back in 10 days or 10 months. But it's not the way you want to be in positions. Looking for consistency, reliability. Also looking for consistency and reliability. All right, CNTG. And by the way, the reason why stocks move differently, what was that one we were looking at, Mike's? The reason why stocks have an inherent behaviors is based on their shares float mostly. Their shares float and a lot of their fundamentals and then the kinds of investors or retail traders that are attracted to that particular stock based on the TA, based on the fundamentals, based on the shares float, based on whether it's a short, based on its large sentiment, based on its macro sentiment, based on its micro sentiment. But I'd say a big one is the shares float. Like if that's really tiny, it's going to behave a lot differently than if it's really large. Okay, we want to get those LPTH I point. It's been coming up on my screens a lot. What's going on? I point. Yeah, this is on our hot list. We love this. Every reclaim has been followed by a not looking back point below their lows. And that's potentially happening again today. And you have even a better price than the previous one. This is a really kind of rare signal within a signal, late to the game, better price entry right there. However, we do have earnings coming up in a couple of days, but it's what it is. Let's see what happens. Or what if we get a big run up into earnings? We got a nice padding. So the risks are the risks. Now we can risk it to 1016, or we can risk it to the previous bar's low, which is 1001. And so, in my opinion, altogether, you put that all together, we should just make $10 the low on that entry. And the entry on this is at 1050, so that's 50 cents of risk. We're entering I point for 50 cents of risk. Stop at $10. And this is a very good sign and low risk entry spot. So as far as I point the stock is concerned, it's at a 1R. It's at a full risk spot. As far as how it sits within its industry and how that industry looks right now, this is biotech, I presume. I think yes. So we go to the biotech index, which is XBI, and we look at it. How is it sitting? Is it extended? Is it bullish? It's not even bullish, so it's not even in trend. So the biotech industry, I mean, it's at the bottom of a long base, but it's a head and shoulder. The biotech industry says don't even get in the trade. And yet iPoint is saying on its own, I'm a super stock coming up off the bottom. So do you go in for full risk? You probably got to discount it to perhaps half risk. 343% gains in 18 bars. I'm kind of convincing myself to go ahead and go for the full risk. 83% on the last one, and that was from even 83%, 85% in 17 bars was the last little run it made. If you get any kind of blip at all, it's going to be for just a couple of days, maybe 33%. So maybe it retouches its highs at 1250 from 1042 in a matter of a week, which would be 1250 divided by 20%, 19% gains. And then you're talking about 19% gains versus 10 divided by 10 point 5% potential loss. So we're looking at about a 4-to-1 risk reward. So it's still pretty good on that side. A lot of things are saying give it a try. So I'm going to go ahead and go for full risk on this. I'm just going to have to really, 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 really watch it. It's 50 cents of risk, full size. I don't even think I can buy that many shares right now. I'm short on that a little bit. Let's see if it rejects or if it. All right, I took it for now. I was within my buying power. All right. Okay, so there's eye point entry at 10:50. Stop at 10. Morning call out. Riley wanted me to check Riley. Theo wants me to check Riley. What kind of like what about it? And then Femi. Femi, it's not necessarily ER, but it looks like Femi is having, yeah, it's up on the board here. Gap up day. The largest gap up on the largest gap up today. 1,750% RVOL. Am I getting that over here? The RVOL calculation over here says 4,500%. That is probably correct. Actually, I just realized something. Check something. Okay, that still doesn't change it. And then but this huge move on Femi, Theo, well, the RVOL is significant enough for it. Looks like it's, never really had a bar that large. It's done $32 million at most in July of last year. And today so far it's done 52 million. All right. So this is an unprecedented day on Femi. I don't know. It's an ER leak or something because ER is coming in 5 days. So that's a catalyst day type of entry. You wanted to get that in the first minute. But if you do get in now, you basically want it to hold and increase. Otherwise, you get in at the end of the day, or you could get in half now, and half at the end of the day. Otherwise, you get in at the end of the day if it closes strong with a stop all the way down at the bottom of the day. That's no guarantee. I mean, tomorrow follow through is maybe a 25 to 40% chance, and it could pull back on you, and then you might have to retime, get back in a couple of days, and then you've got ER to deal with like next week or in 2 weeks. It isn't the most beautifully, perfectly set up thing. It would have been nice if it popped up over this whole resistance area because it does have to deal with all that. It ain't perfect. Okay, we did eye point going down the list. ABSI. I probably knew this at times, but 25 years using Thinkorswim, I still can't fucking understand rhyme or reason between why a symbol in your watch list is red or green. I'm telling you, I can't figure out the rhyme or reason on it. I think it's if it's red on the day, but then I go to the it might be the change. Like if it's a red since yesterday's close. Now, what would really help me is if it was red since the open. Like if it's below the opening price, but that would be perfect. But anyway, it's not. ADVM, what are you doing? You're worsening. I'm going to go ahead and cut ADVM. It's not following through. That was the one that I already de-risked half on. Now I'm fully out. Back my capital. Better to do with it. An iridium. Brilliant bastard. Tank, but no, it's not. It actually has made a new pivot high. Okay. Yep. Let's go ahead and exit iridium. And all right, my daughter wants some food. So thank you very much, everybody. Have a good morning. Thanks for tuning in, and stay tuned in the group. I'll have more alerts and ER lottos, etc., throughout the day. All right, I did it. Let me see. Thank God, huh? Nice. Yes, AUID. Very nice move. This is why we're in it. 13% ADR. Prior breakouts led to 50% in 2 days, 50% in 3 days. You know, total move, bottom to top, 78%, 134%. You know, this is why we're hunting this puppy. All right. All right, guys, have a good one. Class tonight. In class tonight. All right.